Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Switch Show. I'm Maliseh on for. So, what's good? How are you doing? Depending on when you're listening to this from and when, I hope you're having a lovely day, and I hope you've had a lovely day. This podcast, if this is your first time listening, this podcast is aimed at being relatable, debunking myths, stopping dogmas, you all those other stuff. But those three are like the core tenets. It's a society, or the aim of this podcast is for it to be a community where you can just listen on the go or listen while you're seated or something and have a refreshing time listening, get a thing or two as lessons as we grow together, because quite frankly I'm still growing. No man ever stops learning. I'm still learning, you're still learning, we all continue to learn, we all continue to strive for growth and excellence. So yeah, that's the main thing. That's why we're here. So i'll be I'll be talking about, I'll be addressing something that is, I don't know what to call it. It's a concept in economics, but I feel like it relates to us in our modern day. It relates to this present time as we journey through crushing goals and breaking barriers and boundaries and pushing the limits of what is possible. It is opportunity cost, and the subtopic is the beauty of priorities. Opportunity cost, the beauty of priorities. If you're familiar with this concept in economics, that's, you deserve a round of applause. You deserve all your accolades, because quite frankly, not a lot of people, especially in this generation, are really, you know, excited or enthralled by economical aspects, so to say. Everybody's wanting to be an influencer or something, but that's not my focus today. So I'll read a little note just to give you some context. Opportunity cost is a concept in economics that entails the listing of wants or requirements in order of relevant importance. This means that you rank tasks, items from most wanted to least wanted. The first sentence explains it. The second sentence is my spin, my interpretation of it. It means that you rank tasks from most wanted to least wanted. Why I tag it as most wanted to least wanted? There are certain things that you have to do before you do other things. You know, this when I talk about the beauty of priorities, prioritization helps you to execute important things, helps you to put important things first ahead of other things. Let's switch. Let's take an example. Suppose, for instance, or just imagine that you are in a position where you have gained some kind of financial stability, you have money in your pocket, and then you are faced with a decision. You want to buy a car, and the car is going to help you with ease of mobility, moving from, let's say you're living in Lagos State, moving from mainland to the island. The car is going to help you move faster and quicker. And you're also living in a rented apartment, and you also have to pay rent. So which do you choose? Of course, from this question, it's kind of a rhetorical question. But funny enough, a lot of people would choose to go for a car instead of paying their rent. And it could be that the car is an investment to generate revenue, through some bolt, or, but that still isn't the case. If you look at what comes first or what is most important, paying your rent is actually important, because if you don't have shelter, are you going to be driving? Are you going to be sleeping in your car, cooking in your car? It just doesn't make any sense. According to, the basic standard of living, the basic necessities of life is food, shelter, and clothing. Once you have these three, I mean, you can maximize any other opportunity you are given, then you can add skills and your talents and whatever to it. But the illustration or the example I gave is something that to you that might be listening, it might be a rhetorical question like, why would this guy ask me if I'll choose to buy a car over paying my rent? Since I don't own my own house, I would definitely want to pay my rent. But a lot of people would choose to buy the car. Let us bring it home a little bit. You are posed with a decision of taking a course or acquiring a skill, so to say, or getting a skill, developing your skills for a certain price tag and getting a new smartphone. By the way, your smartphone is perfectly fine. It is optimized enough to get you, for you to take your courses and stuff like that. But there's something called fear of missing out, or this desire to want to have what is trendy. You often see people opting to get a new smartphone just because it's trendy, just because people out there are getting it. Now you can, if you look at that question, the question to you that wants to build a skill, it still seems rhetorical. But there are a lot of people that will look at this question and be like, guy, what are you saying? I need to get the latest phone, the iPhone 14 Pro Plus X Ultra Max, whatever. It still doesn't make sense to me, at least, but it makes sense to other people to want to get a new phone over enhancing their skill sets, which will make them relevant. So the thing about the beauty of priorities, or the thing about opportunity cost, is that it helps you to re-evaluate and prioritize. It helps you to keep your focus on what is more important and what can make you relevant. Like I said, like the first sentence said, is it lists things in order of relevance, importance. There are some things that are important, but they are not relevant. So you've got to know what makes you relevant, because as the world grows, as technology advances and evolves, as there are more job opportunities and availabilities to make money or to live a sustainable life, there is a desire for relevant and what's the word and skilled professionals to take these jobs or to take these opportunities. But when you don't have your priorities set straight, you find yourself lacking, you find yourself falling short of certain opportunities that have been presented on a silver platter. So I want to talk about maximizing opportunities. Maximizing opportunities, I believe there are two tenets to maximizing opportunities. The one is when opportunity meets preparation or preparedness, and the second I put that as mental palace. I'll get to that in a minute. When opportunity meets preparation, so I would shift a little bit to some um how do we put this now? Let's say ancient Greek. So in ancient Greek, it was known that there are two um categories of time. So to say, there are two categories of time. One is chronos and one is kairos. Um Chronos means, a sequential order of time. That's where the word chronology came from. It follows a sequence order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 12, up to 24 hours. It's measured by seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, years, and the likes. But kairos means the opportune time. And what differentiates kairos from chronos is that while chronos follows a process, a sequence, kairos is found in chronos, but it breaks some protocols of process. Now, when we talk about opportunity meeting preparation, a lot of from this idea, you think that, okay, if I'm placed at the right place at the right time, I might scoop up the opportunity. Well, very well said. But there's something about being in the right place at the right time with the right skill set. If you're at the right place at the right time without a skill set or without some foundational knowledge of what you are about to venture into or the opportunity you're about to maximize, you'll fall short, you miss that opportunity, and you beat yourself up for not being equipped enough to handle or harness what has been given to you for free, so to say. So when we talk about opportunity meeting preparation, it means you developing your skill sets, physical, emotional, psychological, mental, and all aspects of your lives, building yourself up, you know, holding tenets of diligence, determination, discipline, and integrity while keeping sound moral principles. That's what integrity is. Keeping sound moral principles and not being swayed by every wind of doctrine or everything that looks fancy or shiny in your eyes. The second we talk about is the mental palace. When we talk about a mental palace, I was once reading a book I most likely did not finish. I would have to go back to the book. I can't remember the name, forgive me. But it's a book about mastery. I think it was Joshua Foer, Moonwalking with Einstein. Yeah. It should be Moonwalking with Einstein. And he was talking about these people that were good with numbers and cards. There are some competitions where you have to extensively maximize the use of your mental power. And Joshua Foer he documented his journey with this mental wizard, so to say, and he got to understand that there's something called a mental palace. A mental palace is like your safe zone, your hub, where you ponder upon things, you're able to scrutinize and evaluate everything that comes into your mind, retain certain knowledge for certain periods of time, and increase your mental relevance so that it matches every competition that you are faced with. So when me bringing mental palace in the aspects of opportunities is that when you're able to create a habitat in your mind, you're able to create an ecosystem that is what's the word, that is conducive enough to harbor skills. It becomes creating an ecosystem. Yes, let me switch to biology. Thank you very much. I really love biology. When you create an ecosystem, more or less like a cell wall that is semi-permeable, it lets in certain things and discards the rest. You build a semi-permeable membrane of an ecosystem in your mind that absorbs skill sets that are like nutrients. You have the mitochondria in the center that uses these nutrients to produce energy for mobility. So your mind is like your steering wheel. Your mental palace is the fortress, is the sanctuary that you have built to harbor and to develop skills, to push you to the max and to keep you going. So TLDR, we need to maximize opportunities. And in order to maximize opportunities, you need to be capable. Number one, you need to be relevant. Number two, and you need to be determined. Number three, I'm just quoting off the top of my head. If you desire to go into any field, like myself, going into this cluster of podcasters out there, you would wonder, why should I listen to this podcast? A million people have podcasts out right now. I could pick up my phone and say, you know what, I'm tired of the Switch Show. I should start another podcast where I'm just blabbing or just having a good laugh with a couple of my friends, and just wing it. And another person could just wake up and be like, "Ah, I feel like I have something to say," and start up a podcast. A million people definitely would have podcasts in the coming year. But what makes it different from mine, what makes my own different, is it has to do with the fact that whatever podcast, whatever message I think I have, and whatever message I've built upon, done some research on, interacted with people, and they've related these messages to me, probably things they faced, things they are battling, things they want to hear, things they want to see. It's all about maximizing these opportunities of social interaction, opportunities to engage in certain conversations that build my intellectual abilities, that expand my knowledge. That is the whole thing. So if I'm not able to maximize these opportunities, because quite frankly, no man is an island of knowledge. You can possess traits, you can be phenomenal in your own right, you can even be the brightest shining star in the galaxy. But trust me, you are never an island. You're never an island. There's only so much you can learn. And the more you meet people, the more you see things. It's an opportunity that you have to maximize, an opportunity you have to capitalize upon. And when you start prioritizing, when you are able to prepare to meet opportunities, you're able to follow a sequence or set of steps or a process. When the opportune time comes, you won't fall short, you won't be found lacking. That's basically it. Summary of all of this: be prepared, take charge of opportunities, and build up yourself to meet opportunities as they meet you. So I just hope you've had a refreshing listen. If you're listening on the go, if you're sitting down taking notes, that's very cool. I appreciate that. We are really doing well with the podcast. I appreciate everyone that listens. I appreciate everyone that shares to their friends, to family, wherever you are listening from. I thank you all for the support. I thank you all for giving me a message and giving me a reason to still talk, to still speak, and to still interact with you like you're one of my best friends. Yeah, we keep growing. The Switch Show community keeps growing, and I'm thankful that you all are a part of this beginning stage. And here's to many more things that we're gonna do. So go out there, illuminate your world, and keep shining. Don't dim your light for anyone or everyone. Yeah. God bless you.